What's good, YouTube? This your man Spill Dog. It ain't a lot of people talking about this when I think they should. I think Brian Norman Sr. is doing an excellent job managing his son's career at this point. A lot of people was criticizing him, calling Brian Norman Jr. a duck for not accepting at 1.7 million or whatever boots. I think that was the last offer. I think they started at like 750,000 and the last offer was 1.7, and that was immediately after Brian Norman Jr. had won his title, and I felt like at that time that wasn't the right time to take a fight like that. He just got the belt, and Brian Norman Sr. he kicked up a lot of dust and act like he wanted to fight at one point, but then he ended up, he pivoted and they wouldn't fought. I can't remember the first guy's name, and then they fought Sasaki next, but now here you are a year later. You finna be in a real big fight with Devin Haney for I think probably 3 times what they was gonna make to fight Jerron Ennis, and in my mind a much more winnable fight against a fighter that's somewhat damaged goods at this point in his career. Not just calling it like it is. The last time Devin was out there in the ring, he fought like he had PTSD, running around the ring like he was worried about getting hit. I don't know if it was still, a little bit of, you know, uh, still a little shook from the knockdowns by Ryan Garcia, or if he was just trying to make sure he secured the bag for the rematch with Ryan Garcia. We'll find out when he fight Brian Norman Jr., but he clearly wasn't the same Devin we knew before the fight with Ryan Garcia. I mean, he physically looked the same, but the way he fought was, it was really cowardly, to be honest with you. And I never seen him move that much in a fight in his career. So who knows if that's how he gonna fight against Brian Norman Jr. I doubt it. It'll be hard to win a championship like that. But bottom line, from Brian Norman Sr.'s standpoint, he doing right by his son. That's a legitimate big fight with a guy whose name got credibility, real credibility, from beating Lomachenko in the ring, more so than a guy who's just given credibility because he looked like he the next best thing. I think Boots is a good fighter. I don't know that for whatever reason don't don't seem to have a lot of I don't know what to say about it. Just I don't know if it's confidence or if he just trying to get easy money. It's hard to say. But I just felt like you know you really can't listen to what he say that's put to you like that. After he fought Stanionis, he said he was clearly having no problems making 147. I mean, it's out there, in the post fight interview, and he had no intentions on leaving that division. That's why he didn't accept a Virgil Ortiz fight when they asked him for it in February. Then Teofimo Lopez asking for a fight. Devin asked for a fight. They both moved to 147. He go to 154. I think Devin said he's told him he will fight him at 152 pounds. Instead, it would be Devin's first fight at 147. So it's hard for me to know what's really going on with Boots. But this is a good fight for Brian Norman Jr. This is a great fight for him. It's a better fight in my mind. The fight with Boots, that'll be there later if they still want it. But the bottom line, I think, as a manager, your job is to especially, and you dealing with your son, is to get him to, in the best position, one, to win, and two, to make the type of money that he want, that's out there to be made now. And I think pumping their brakes and not just rushing into a fight for really somewhat short money. It really was, Eddie Hearns out here trying to lowball motherfuckers probably because he done overpaid Boots. I don't know, but if you gonna fight, I do feel Brian Norman Sr. The fight gonna be in Philly. I'm a champion. He ain't done no more than Brian Norman Jr. at that point. I want, I would have wanted more money too, really, because He putting everything on the line in his very first defense. And to another thing you gotta look at, you can't call him, Boots 28 years old. Brian Norman was, I think, Jr. was, I think, 23 at the time. Boots is almost 30 years old, and he still ain't necessarily taking those kind of fights yet. So how people gonna call this man a duck? Brian Norman Jr. didn't say it was his father talking. And like I say, man, I felt like that was the right move to not take that fight immediately. Now, after the fight with Devin, if they still want to fight, that's a whole different story. You done got a few more fights under your belt. Shit, Boost and had 35 motherfucking fights. Like I say, man, you know, they did the right thing. They did the right thing regardless of what the peanut gallery say. The man did the right thing, and he making good, smart moves for his son. I think the Devin Haney fight is a much better fight for Brian Norman Jr. than the fight with Jerron Ennis at that time. I felt like, uh, you know, I think I got more confidence in Boots than he do. I feel like Boots could beat every guy that tried to fight him that got way more credibility to their name than him or Brian Norman Jr. Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney got more credibility behind their names than Brian Norman Jr. and Boots at this point in time due to the fighters that they've been in the ring with. And even more so for Teofimo because he fought Lomachenko and I think in his 15th or 16th fight and won. Then he went up there and beat the boy Taylor that hadn't been beaten at 140. That was the boogeyman up there at 140. Went up there and beat him. He lost to Cambosis. Teofimo Lopez and been in some real good fights with some good fighters. Devin been in there with Lomachenko, Jojo Diaz when he was still real good. What's the boy? Ryan Garcia, who else? There's one more on the tip of my tongue. Regis Prograde. These guys done been in the ring with elite level or top level fighters. Definitely Lomachenko was elite level and won fights. So they got way more credibility behind their name. And just because a guy in a bigger division, a lot of these guys that's fighting at 135 and 140 are 100 are welterweights that's just sweating down and padding their record up and trying to come in divisions at the right time. But these ain't little dudes. Devin come in the ring for fights at 160 pounds and shit like that. So he clearly is a welterweight. He just gonna be probably a lot stronger and faster fighting at a division that's more closer to the way he walk around at, and where they ain't gotta starve themselves so much just to make weight. So those was good fights, if you ask my opinion, that he turned down. So like I say, Boots turned down Devin, Brian Norman taking him. This a big fight for big money. And I like it. I like this fight a whole lot better. And once again, who knows we really don't know what Devin had at yet. We don't know if he was just being safe in that last fight against Ramirez or if he gun shy. He looked gun shy that night, and if you get in the ring with somebody like Brian Norman gun shy and he the champion, it's gonna be hard to win a fight like that. It's gonna be hard to win a fight spending that much time trying not to fight like he did against Ramirez. I don't think he gonna fight that way. I think he gonna move. I know then again, he didn't move against Ryan, so it's hard to say. But I think the smart thing would be to box and move. But I think Brian Norman Jr. gonna get up no matter what the hell he do. I just think the timing is perfect for Brian Norman Jr. in this instance. And Devin might have jumped too quick when they agreed to this Brian Norman Jr. fight, because this fight was offered. This fight ain't nothing that they asked for, like they trying to make it seem like. This fight was offered to them. This wasn't their idea. So this could blow up bad in their face. It really could, because Brian Norman Jr. is real confident right now. He real confident right now. He working real hard, and power is a hell of an equalizer in a fight. So Devin ain't Floyd Mayweather on defense. He had lapses. Ramirez just didn't capitalize. He just got caught up into following Devin around the ring. I think by Brian Norman Sr. being a professional fighter, he gonna know if he coming there fighting that way, we gotta cut that ring off. And I think Brian Norman Jr. feet is a lot better than he getting credit for. I think he'll show that when he fight Devin. And if he win that fight with Devin Haney, now if him and Boots fight, it'll be some real money on the table. And it might have to be 50-50 if Boots still ain't fought nobody by then. Or Brian Norman Jr. could be the A side. It could flip around just that bad with the competition Boots getting in the ring with right now. Just being honest, But like I say, man, Brian Norman Sr. been doing a good job so far with his son, if you ask my opinion. And some of the statements he been making on Mill City been borderline prophetic because they coming true. So we gonna see how it go in the fight with Devin. But as of right now, I think Brian Norman Sr. is doing a great job managing his son, and I don't know if people out here giving him enough credit for that. But that's it for me on this video. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe. Till next time, it's your boy Spill Dog. I'm out.